سبحان فالق الإصباح.
Yes, y'all infidels, that's right. It's an extreme Monday after Extreme Rules, and you never know what characters might show up here today. But you've got the leaders of the pack, Hack Attack, Bid Hamin, and Art of the B to the V, ready to break down all your weekend news, infidels. And do we got Jews in the house? Kanye West to AEW confirmed here on the Monday Locker Room. YOLO! What's good, you guys? Glad to be back in the saddle with all y'all. Hopefully you had a good weekend, man. No rest for the weary coming off vacation here for the Hack Attack. We're back on the road this weekend. Shows on Sundays, pay-per-views on Saturdays. I'm all upside down and backwards, man. My schedule is never ending, and here's a guy who's working just as hard all the way out there, highlighting all the local restaurants from Cincy to Columbus to Cleveland, man. It's Art of the B to the V, the promoter extreme who's learning all those fun lessons as he puts on show after show. But he's back for the big Monday Locker Room show today. RBV, good to see you, pal.
Hey, we have got a super stacked gauntlet to get through here. We got Ben bumping. We got Kanye versus the world. We got wrestling. We got Ben. I know you're saying we got this wrestling going on right now. New Japan. I know you probably just want to just do a watch along with that right now.
I can't get it off.
Just throw all that out. We had a full weekend. Friday, Saturday, you wrestling Sunday. But I do got to say, you'll see who's absent here. And I love him to death, but I hope he doesn't show up here after that bullshit that his team stealing that win last night, going over strong. He's probably sleeping one off of Timmy Baltimore. Hopefully we see him, but yeah, the Ravens got the Bengals as time expires. The third loss of the season for the Bengals, field goal with time expires.
It's tough. The Browns and Bengals, I don't even go near those games for betting because that you just don't know. You really don't. And I only like to bet with my gut when I feel like, okay, there's a big advantage here and I'm not really taking too much of a gamble. The odds are in my favor. But with those teams, it's always a nail biter, bro. So
your difference there is, especially with the last year's Bengals who made that great Super Bowl run, they were winning those close games. Now they're going the other way. You got to believe we get that break. But the thing with the Browns is you're just, and especially living up there for as long as I did and still being, in touch with the community, that fan base, they are so dedicated, but they just watch the whole game to figure out how they can lose. How are they going to give it away? That's football.
Welcome to my last 6 years as a Nephilim.
What a window for the Giants this weekend.
Yeah, dude, the Nephilim over strong, bro. Like I could just feel the momentum, and to watch our quarterback Jones pull off some Josh Allen stuff of this is what it takes, and there's blood dripping down his hand. That kid worked his ass off for that win, and Saquon was great. Our backup run game was great, and luckily we had some penalties that we just ducked under real quick. So it was an awesome game in London town to watch the Giants take down the Pack in a big upset. I did okay on parlays this weekend. I think it came up about $50 to the positive, so I'm always happy about that. Yeah, man, a big football week. I like teams like the Browns and Bengals. Not like I really know a lot about them, but I know that they're working man teams. I've never been a franchise player team. I do not like that when the Yankees will just stack their fucking teams because they got the pockets deep enough to do it. When NBA teams do it like the Lakers, that shit don't impress me much at all, bro. Anytime a team that's a grinder from a smaller secondary city can get over, I'm down with that for their fan base, because I know you sit there and eat shit for years for any hope of even
decades.
Yeah, dude. So that's even if they take the L, if they're grinding, they're fighting hard, and they're not just the shits and they can hang in there, there's always that ray of hope. You know what I mean? And but sometimes a team like the Ravens are just going to be too much.
Well, they're equally matched. It goes right down to it.
Yeah.
It's a game of inches, just turns here and there. Got them again coming up. We're going to close the season. Hopefully that game comes down to playing for division. But you said something there. a ray of hope. Keep your eyes on social media. I'm sure he is going to be having fun today as the Mets meltdown from the baseball world, man. Big Ray is going to be all over that. You want to keep up with him and Vito. I'm sure they're going to be going at it on social media.
Sure.
Big Ray grinding it in.
Big Ray loves his meme culture, and he's great at it. I mean, he's a Yankees guy through and through, but I don't understand that's part of the New York hater that's bred in us. Like, I'm a Giants guy, so you were like, oh, the Bills, when they would lose in the 90s and blow it 4 times, you'd kind of do a little Schadenfreude and take joy in the fact that they were a working man's team. Now I got way more respect for them, not just as a front runner, but like, I'm glad to see what they're doing in Buffalo after that tragedy from this summer with the shooting. They definitely need a raise up as a city. So I'm all in on Buffalo. I mean, I'm a Giants guy. But if Buffalo could do that this year, that would, and I'm not saying other cities that haven't had these tragedies in them that like one balances the other, but I would just like to see that win for humankind to raise their spirits a little bit and the pride back in their city after such a.
Would you say there might be a conspiracy there?
There probably could be and would be. And don't we need a little bit of worked babyface get over in our life? Doesn't the common man and those slogged down my life need that?
Remember right after 9/11, who was it? The Patriots, finding their way into it.
Yeah, very well. I mean, I don't say there isn't there, but hey, that's something I'm fine to turn a blind eye to and get worked. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's something bigger, but here nor there. With Ray, like I like the Mets. I mean, I'm not, like I said, a huge into baseball like I was when I was a kid, but Yankees, Mets. And last night we were walking into Tully's referee Sideburns and I after the show, and in comes a guy with a Jets hat. I got a Jets hat on, and I got my Giants hoodie on. He's like, "Hey man, you guys got a great win today." I was like, "Oh, thanks." He's like, "We got one too." And as the Jets went over in a really big upset, they're just pumped. So I'm kind of at the point now where it's not like, okay, my tribalism and my fandom mean I have to hate and this other team and fucking I leave that to Hate Bot now. Hate Bot takes care of all my hate emails. And and I like to see, because Mike Mondo is a massive Jets fan and my dude, my best man at my wedding. And that's another guy who's had to sit there for decades and watch him just get thumped. So when they can get a big and good win like that, that makes your time and dedication worth it. So I kind of take pride and joy in all New York teams. Like I said, I don't follow basketball to watch the Knicks or that much, but we're in upstate, so Syracuse football and basketball is everything. So to have Syracuse doing good and the Giants doing good, I'm pretty pleased with that.
It seems, the stretch up there, I mean, just not in New York City, it goes up to Buffalo, but yeah, like even with the Patriots, the Boston area. I mean, it's very territorial up there.
Oh, yeah.
In a case of even like someone like Big Ray, sometimes it seems like he gets more joy in the misery of the other teams than he does in the success of his teams.
Well, and that's Ray having fun trolling online. He likes to, but there is something to be said about that I really can't convey to, and I'm not trying to dish your state to Ohio guys, to any other state really. Because even when I moved to Chicago, I was expecting New York City intensity, and it wasn't like that with the people.
They're like two separate there. They just got the south side and the north side. And
yeah, well, I mean, it's not even that. It's like in New York City's so intense, and we're so, in New York State is this way, bred with toxicity, generational, handed down hate. How to snap back, how to fuck somebody's day up. Like, we are experts at it. and you think everybody else in the country is like that, and they're not. They're not bred with great grandma knows how to fuck it.
That's the problem.
Scumbag. I fucking hate those scumbags.
That's the problem. The rest of the world thinks everyone in this country is New Yorkers.
Yeah, I know.
That's why everyone hates us. They think we're Californians or we're New Yorkers, and that's why they hate the other states in between.
I agree. And New York thinks everybody in America's like that. And that's just the way it is, but it's not like that. So Ray and a lot of people, myself included, are bred with that flowing through our blood to like instantly turn and just punch somebody in the face while they're not even on the canvas yet, man. So that's just something that it's funny and it's tragic, because why have negativity coursing through your veins if you can avoid it. I mean, it's part of the human condition. But some people have turned it into an art form and a comedic art form that influences the world in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? So there's good and there's definitely bad in it. That's why our swords are sharper. That's why our tongues are sharper. That's why hip hop from New York is fucking way more high level intellectual than most places are, you know, in other regional areas. Like the art definitely thrives off of some of that negativity and competition and self-indulgence. It's interesting to me as a case study.
Absolutely. So yeah, some incredible action. So you said you did well in your parlays.
Yeah, well, I got Chiefs got to win tonight, but I'll be up about 50 over from what I betted. So, you know, that I bet 100 total, win 150. I can't complain about that. You know, that's across the board. A couple things I lost on, but you know I'm pretty solid that the Chiefs will come through tonight over who they got, the Raiders. I mean, that's a sketchy one, but at the same time, it's Mahomes and he's nasty as fuck. So I feel a solid bet there. I felt that the Bucks versus the Falcons, Bucks will be up, but that was close. And I knew the
controversial call would win that one there.
I mean, a lot of these games, and I knew Bills would go over strong, which they did. So my 3-pick parlays are doing so. I did a 10-pick parlay for $10 with a lot of like college teams that were just like minus 2,300, and then along with the NFL picks, and then I had Stephon Diggs for anytime touchdown score, which he did. So all that's got to happen there is for Chiefs to come through on my final 2 parlays. I'll be up a good $50-$60 tonight.
Very nice. Been following you've been doing any college football?
I just Syracuse. I try not to fuck around with it. Like, here's 2 things. Like, I don't bet baseball because anybody can win at any time on any given day. Like, there is no like dominant ass whip baseball team that is proven by the MLB playoffs with tons of upsets, right? And you see teams that aren't even ranked beating number 7 teams in the NCAA football. Nope, I don't fucks with that either. So I just can't. I'm not a gambler, even though I do bet. Like, I just cannot. Like, well, let's let the chips fall where they may. We'll see what's luck. No, I look at who's injured, who got dominated on the line, whose defense is tearing apart other offenses, and then I might make my small little wager. But John Hartnett has schooled me pretty well, and don't bet on women's MMA matches because they're probably going to go to the cards, and if Sal D'Amato's on the fucking judges list, he's probably corrupt and going to fuck you over. Sal D'Amato's cost me tons of bets because of his corrupt fucking scoring because he probably owes Vegas Mob $10 million. That's the only explanation for the way he fucks up fights in UFC. So I don't really bet on women's MMA, and I won't bet on college football or Major League Baseball. It's just too. I say that I did because, like, if you're minus 4,600 and I can add it to a parlay and it's going to kick up the parlay odds up plus 100, I'll do it. But for me to sit there and know who the quarterback of Wisconsin or Notre Dame is, I'm not into it like that.
There's so much going. And we've still got about 3 weeks before it really heats up in college. Next week, there's a full slate of some top ranked teams taking on each other. So it'll be interesting to watch how that shakes up. But November 1st, we get the actual college football playoff rankings where it really counts. So it's hearsay now, but they've been shifting a lot at the top of the rankings in college. Chappie's saying it's a shame that the Bearcats aren't ranked. Cincinnati is back ranked. They're back up to 23, I believe. So they got back into the top 25 for the AP. But.
Well, that might as well be a PWI 500 ranking. But I see that.
What happened to them is because the system was so upset that UC kind of broke their own rules last year and let one of those mid-majors into the playoff. They made sure as hell. I mean, a team that it was in the Final Four and then opens up season. Although, granted, they lost 11 or so starters. A lot of them went to the NFL, but they made sure they were not going to get anywhere near that again. They dropped them down. They got beat by a big team in their first game and they were out, so they had to play back in. But it'll be interesting these next couple of weeks in college football as the playoffs begin to shape up.
Yeah, it will be, man. And those guys are playing their asses off. They're quick, hard-hitting games with a lot of exciting finishes too, just like NFL. So it's a great time to be a sports fan, especially in New York with some was some awesome, like, wow stuff going on that you didn't expect. So I'm happy for everybody to get a little escapism through, the smash down of life, and they can, live vicariously through. And big shout out to the HMGGG unit chat room this morning. I see my man Frank's pickle barrel ass in there. Yo, Jimbo, Larry Weaver, classified champion, I think was first to the chat this morning. Mike Martin, the lovely Lisbeth is in there as well, making sure these guys stay in line. My man Media M5, Kaz, our badass video editor, doing great work every single day, putting out clips from Russo Brand and HMG and Rip Rogers show. And you guys, a quick shout out and call to action for the HMG soldiers out there. We need help getting Stevie Ray TV, all one word, Stevie Ray TV. Obviously, Stevie Ray from Harlem Heat. We want to get his channel monetized, and we're about 80 followers away from that. So anything you guys can do, alternate accounts or sharing it with people or people in your family to get that to 1,000 this week, we would really appreciate that help. Also, Aaron Ben Shlomo, interested to hear from my man from Israel about the new hot Kanye West take. New York City's in the house, so we'll just shout out to New York City, I guess, NYC. Just looking for anybody else here, but appreciate you guys tuning in for the free Monday Locker Room show live here, you guys, before I turn it unlisted and make it exclusive at channelattitude.com. Thanks for wherever you're subscribing. I'm going to do a new episode of The Producers today. My weekend just filled up, but episode 5 was pretty red hot as I answer back some of the tag team podcast misinformation from Shepard and Billy from last week that got sent to me while I was on my vacation. I was like, I'm not even dealing with this nonsense, but I listened on the plane ride home and it made me laugh. I was audibly laughing at some of the stuff. So we clear the air and go to the DMs for the real truth of the fact. But deep from my DMs, deep inside you, deep inside all of us, it's the man we all dream to be. It's Timmy B is in the house from the Monday Locker Room. Good morning, pal.
Good morning, buddy. I just slide into those DMs. I'm like, I'm really kind of like bummed that I missed that part of like having game. I was a little too old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like I would have done okay sliding
with the app and all that. Like, never. We didn't pull pussy off the app where you just swipe and then hook it up. You want to come over and watch Netflix and chill. We actually had to go buy drinks and spit game and trying to be some rap fucking hustler stereotype in order to you want to play these hoes just to lay these hoes.
Spit game. You guys were just picking up the leftover contract at Rats out by the dumpster out back of the arena.
Bro, no, trust me. Those guys were more awkward than any of them when it came to real game. God dang, yeah. Like, I think about that sometimes, like, the effort and like just like who gives a fuck it takes to just walk up to somebody and just drop it on them like, hey, you never met me, I've never met you, I'm about to spend some time and some money and then maybe we can get some skin equity going.
Yeah. Chuck Carter, not a name I'm super familiar with in our chat, but welcome. And can you make a song about me? Of course you can. I don't care. Good, bad, ugly, diss it. Have a good time. Art inspires art, man. And if you enjoy HMG or me slapping people across the face or 9/11 Truth, by all means, do it. I'm happy to. And we'll gladly play it. Good, bad, or ugly on HMG, man. Please. And look forward to hearing that. So, but yeah, Timmy's spot on. Don't let Timmy fucking fool you, man. He's got a soft spot in his heart for strippers, and he pulls girls that make people go, is that her crippled little brother? Oh, that's her fucking boyfriend. Okay, dude. Like, wow, factor level chicks at OVW. I was kind of with wife number one, probably within 18 months of me being there. So my player days got put to rest that way. But in college, high school, I mean, we were going out to the club at 17 years old, getting shit hammered on screwdrivers and amaretto sours, listening to Biggie, and then closing the strip club down till 4 a.m. at 17. So I grew up way too quick and in a beautiful Renaissance time of hip hop, drugs, and sexuality. And I'm glad I did before the app kind of came out, because I can only imagine the danger I would have put myself in if I had those tools at my disposal as well as the gift again.
It's you know, I've because I'm not married, you know, I have a girlfriend now, but before then, like I've met a few girls on these apps, and like it's scary, man. Like if I was a girl, I don't know, man. Men are awful. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be meeting me somewhere.
Yeah, people think that you got to go to court today because you look so handsome, Timmy. They say that you got child support hearing today, so you're trying to look your best, man. But he does look handsome today, fresh out the barbershop. It's Timmy Baltimore.
Timmy, now you got me. I am curious here. What is like your normal meeting place for these app rats? I mean, did you try to go in the public? Were you like getting the hotel by the hour?
No.
Backlot brawl?
So you got to read the room, right? Like you got to see what their experiences have been. And for the most part, their experience has been, hey, how you doing? Here's a fucking picture of my cock. And so anything besides that, they is a welcome change. You know, I believe it or not, I know it sounds corny, but like
so hold on, you're getting a lot of tranny bees up in your
no, the women, listen, RBV, the women get pictures of the men because men don't know how to talk to them anymore.
Yeah. So just open it right up. Just go right for the money shot.
They don't know how to spit that game. And we were like 1970s pimps in the early 90s, and that's just how you came up, man.
Yeah. Just don't creep them out, man. Like that, and talk about them and make them laugh. And you know, like they'll be like, "Oh my God, he's better than 95% of the dudes out here." That's all you got to do. It don't matter if I'm more.
It's all about confidence.
I still want to know where you're meeting these girls from. These apps,
so if it's, you know, if it's a dinner, like most of them are astounded if you want to go on a date, like a real date. Like nobody does that anymore. Like you want to go get some drinks or my girl now doesn't drink or can't drink. So it's like, you know, do you want to go get like dinner? Dinner is something so simple, man. But I'm not like.
That's not what he's asking, and I'm not trying to belittle your girlfriend now. Timmy B will go to 4th Street Live where the shot girls are walking around in lingerie, and he could pull almost any of them. Sure, he might go to the Canadian Ballet and watch some of the girls dance. Doesn't matter. He's leaving with numbers. And then he would also go down to Wet Willie's or wherever else on Bardstown Road. And that's not a strip club. That's just like the club where all the college hang out, and could pull trap there from the girl next door as well. That's just, he's got the Dennis the Menace. He's got the aura. He's got the confidence. He's got the little sideshow freak show thing that gets people to turn your head and get noticed, which is all that anybody really wants to do. That's why you go buy a shirt at JW or merry-go-round back in the day to try and fucking look cool. But once you step to that and you're not like, oh, they're all gonna laugh at me, and you're like, yeah, that's who the fuck I am, which is what Timmy is in spades. That's just how it goes down, man. And they respond to that power. You could be 5'3" as long as you come across as you're 7'1", and that's what he does when he commands the room. So don't be like, oh, I asked her out to dinner and she was impressed. Yeah. Meanwhile, she was walking around with her ass out in a G-string for fucking most of the night. So
that's the thing too. Yeah. I mean, he nailed it there. Yeah.
And he plays little puppy dog too. Once they get a hold of him,
I don't know if they're watching. What if they're watching? That may be my future ex-wife.
Yeah.
But I mean, because he nailed it too, because of like the fact that I am an oddity naturally. Most people, sadly, a lot of people with physical disabilities are either totally withdrawn or a lot of them haven't come to terms with the this is it. So let's make the best of it. And I'm not talking about being like the butt of a joke or being like, it's just, this is my life. It's different. If you don't like it, go fuck yourself. Like, I don't, you know what I mean?
But then they see him shine too. It's very Tao of Steve. Tao of Steve, hey, if you're off of a bad rebound or you're figuring out how to get pussy, go watch the movie The Tao of Steve. It's not necessarily the best movie for a relationship and self-confidence, but anybody who gets their heart broken, I tell them watch Tao of Steve and Swingers.
You told me Swingers.
Yeah, dude. And then to get back on the horse, it's lose your desire, be excellent, and be gone. That means don't chase some girl around because you're going to get friend zoned right away. Just be you, be confident, and then act like you're above them, but not act like I am chasing pussy. Be excellent. Let them see you in your natural fucking excellent format. Timmy on the mic, commanding the show, whatever it is. Then they see, wow, this guy's got spotlight on him and he's not just chasing me. I need to chase him. Be gone. Do not call them within 48 hours. Do not fucking look desperate and do that. And then when it happens, hey, I'm back out at Wet Willie's 2 weeks later and I saw you at 4th Street Live. That's when the thunder will strike. The skies will, the thunder will clap. The skies will open and lightning will strike because you played it that simple way. There's just something about the cat and mouse game between men and women and human nature that is the simple, loose format to reel them in. And if you do that and put multiple lines in the water that way, you're going to pull 1, you're going to pull 2 and pull 3. Then you got a whole nother boatload of problems because you're trying to juggle the 3 hotties of how it goes. So
we're going to need a bigger boat.
Yeah. We got Big Stevie Cool pickup tips in here as well in the chat.
Yeah, this is Stevie gets it. He knows if you want a real relationship with it healthy and wise, listen to Stevie Richards.
Yeah, that really is it. You know, women and men, what people say they want and what they actually want are 2 totally different things. And to say, you know, I want to be desired, I want to be pampered upon, no, they don't. They want to feel like they have a chance and then feel like, oh shit, that chance is getting away. Everybody loves the dangling, the cat and the mouse. It's a fucking game. And people that say they don't want games just don't know that they're playing. We're all playing games. We're all
and in the female DNA is I can fix him, and Timmy comes physically with that problem. So, and then not just the mental side, but like you ain't gonna fix it. So it's an unsolvable puzzle that they're just sitting there with the Rubik's Cube spinning the shit, and they might get one side done, but that's as far as you're going.
That's it. Usually it's like you know, the old I used to use this story about being attacked by a shark in the strip clubs.
Yeah.
And I would say, you know, get real serious and work them and say, you know, I used to be called like the little kahuna. I was semi-pro, like real small details that could be true. You know, my uncle was a pro. And they go, oh my God. Like, and I go, yep. And then I go, and then this one time, I'm catching this one tube. It's about 2 stories high. And out of nowhere, black shadow comes up. Bah! Thought I got hit by a truck. And I pull up my shirt and I got this like side, it's like posterior, anterior scar from where they took my ribs out. It looks like a fucking bite.
It looks like
it got me right here. And they go, oh my God. And I go, and I look in the distance. It's so fucking cheesy, man. I go, but I'm going to get back on the board one day. You know, fucking. And the only time that went really sideways was one time this girl in Florida goes, no way, I got bit too. And
pulls her shit
and pulls up, yeah, her string fucking to the stilettos, and she had like legit teeth marks. I'm going, oh my God.
Wow.
So yeah.
There's your dating advice. Be confident, be yourself, throw a little mustard on it if you need to, but everybody's just out there looking to fix somebody.
One more quick note on that, because I know where Ben stands on this, and I've had the conversation with him and Beast here on air, and they're completely different. Timmy, where do you stand on across the board in wrestling, dating in the locker room?
I mean, it's not going to work, but it's going to happen. Like what I know, it's the worst idea you could ever do, but it's going to happen. Why? Here's what's going to happen, because especially for the males, you're going to shit where you eat. You're going to date her she's going to either get a bigger push than you, or when you break up, she's going to be dating someone with a bigger push than you, and you're going to have to come to work and see them both every day.
It can be bad news bears.
And
you're giving somebody leverage. If you compete with an office person, they'll push them just to fuck with you. So when like all of the things that you shouldn't be doing to protect yourself in the fucking mafia, like you're like, hey, here's a thread, pull it, watch my sweater unravel. You know, like it's just people who do that are blinded by. Sure, you might find true love or what have you. There's definitely couples out there, Strangler Steve and his wife, who've been happy as workers. But if most marriages 50% end in divorce just in regular society, you're talking about an 80-90% rate.
And it's especially if they're chasing that big dream. Hold on one second. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
Well, and now you see it everywhere in professional wrestling. It's almost like a norm that, you know, you've got people married from different companies in the same locker room. Did that really become a trend at OVW? Because that's where you really saw the influx of women talent mixing with the men.
I just kind of don't put it. I mean, obviously, we're men and women of opposite.
You get young, good-looking people that are fit and have their body is clicking on all cylinders. They're gonna have a high sex drive. You're gonna have that.
It's definitely incestuous, but here's the thing, bro. Every man, woman, are here. Wrestlers together are here. If you're at that level, you're in the mafia, bro. Like, there's no kayfabe or working your partner when you are Edge and Beth Phoenix. You know,
yeah,
like
they both have seen it and done it.
Exactly. So it's on some different inside level. It's kind of hard to explain to civilians of how it is. And even wife number one, she has never been in the business, but she lived with us all for 3 years and lived with me for 16. So there's times in public where and it pops me because I love her for it, where she'll get the jokes of like somebody's jacked or some chick will be super sexy and showing her ass and we're like, oh, they're getting signed. You know, or she'll drop fucking like the gimmick or kayfabe or something around there, not just to pop me, but like she knows the inside worker lingo, even though she's never been on a show in her life because she's lived with us all, and that's about as close as I want her to it, you know. But you're not going to be able to talk carny or talk like a worker around my wife and fucking think she don't know exactly what's being said. Now you take a civilian and Timmy and I could talk all day long and nobody would know. I'm not just saying in the ism speak. I'm just saying in inferred shit on a
look
that they wouldn't have any idea. So that's the part that's very different about wrestling relationships when you're at a higher mafia level where we all are in on it of how we work the world as opposed to what a civilian relationship is. And I don't know if I'm explaining it with enough clarity, but that is the problem of when you're at that level, you're not going to be able to have a power play over the other person, which usually happens when a relationship ends and you need to get out. Like, they can see every move you're going to make a mile away and vice versa.
Do you think that, you know, a lot of times it has become such a norm now that a lot of people are just looking for, because they don't think the outside world can understand them?
Yes, exactly.
So you just go with who's familiar, who understands your mindset.
Yeah, it's
who's
hard
on the road like that, who's doing all these things, but you got to understand, in that same mentality and lifestyle is that same mentality and lifestyle. So you're trying to get ahead. You're doing anything you want for your dream, not for, you know, you see it sometimes when people are like, oh, well, we're in a relationship, we're a package deal, book us both. It's always like, okay. It rarely happens that it's successful. People are going to say Scarlett and Cross right now. Okay, talk to me in 10 years. Like, no joke.
That's like, I'm not here to talk because I'm a huge Cross guy, right? And I don't know Scarlett that well, but she was hooked up. She hooked up with some of the boys back in the day on the indies that who are now at the top. And that was a part of what was going around the locker room that, like, granted, she's a worker. She can do whatever she wants to do, and our past is our past. But what happened 10 years ago where people go, did you know she heard? And like the guy who's more over on top of the locker room now, while you're trying to come up, and any little heat or the fact that they want to test you being like, hey,
say, where's the test come?
Here, I heard this dude fucking da. And you got to sit there and take it with a straight face, or you got to go and be like, hey, I heard you're saying some shit about my lady. I don't think that's cool. Now they got you. They want to see if you're going to sell for it and then fucking hook you, because then they can fuck with you more. It's a test about, will he no sell, take it with a smile, and go out there and do business, while we tried to spread a little rumor from some shit from 12 years ago that really don't mean nothing, because most women in the wrestling biz run their pussy like any guy runs their dick. So it's like all that's out the window. You know what I mean? Like, if OD wanted to take somebody home, she's taking somebody home.
Yeah, but it is.
That poor
it does seem to. It does seem to come back, obviously, because of the power balance in the world and in women. It does seem to come back to women in a more vengeful way. But I don't know if that's maybe, that's obviously, people use in wrestling what works. They use what works. So the fact that people are mind fucking somebody over something that happened 10 years ago is fucked in and of itself. So the details of it, that it's maybe sexist or whatever, put that aside. It's because they're so fucked up, and that's what works to get that power balance, not male or female, just for your spot. And they'll use whatever that is, your mental health, your mental stability, your physical health, your physical ability, your past, your present.
And they're doing it not because they might even hate you or want to fuck with you. They're showing the highest of the higher ups that
they're power.
That alpha. I fuck with this guy, and that we're gonna test him, and that I play the game of, let me test this dude, because that to them shows that you're a bigger scumbag in the mafia, that you will do it for no reason except for the upper brass's entertainment. So it gets back to them, and they go, oh, what's going on down there? Seth's all right, fucking it. What, like, Seth, come here. What's this I hear about the fact that
right?
Yeah, that's what's true, boss. I fucking did, and like now, then it goes off from there, dude. And it's a weird. That's why you don't do these things. I mean, the Scarlet's hot enough, it might make you go, well, maybe I will. but that's where it's like, fuck, do I really want to have to go into my job and deal with this type of shit, and how am I going to deal with it? Then they got to go get in the car and go, yeah, he was fucking with me, let's no sell this, let's do that. That actually drives couples a little closer together if they can handle it, where they become a tag team to deal with the kayfabery and fucking no sell of certain things. When girls come to you, hey, I heard this, you're like, oh, that's so old, and like, how quick can you brush it off? Or that they're testing you, so then they can go stooge. You're like, why put yourself in that situation? I would never want to have that extra stress.
A couple things. First, to piggyback off that, you just said it. Why put that stress on you? The job is stressful enough. Everything is the amount of pressure and to perform, not only from your bosses and your superiors and your peers, but yourself, is unlike anything you'll ever experience ever again in your life. Why put the pressures of a goddamn relationship on top of that? It's just a recipe for disaster. And another thing that made me laugh when you said the whole, hey, Seth, tell me what went on.
Yeah, hey, what the hell's going on?
I remember in FCW, Steve Kern making speeches about what the office tells me they want are good people. They want good people. And I'm going,
yeah.
They want good people. Come on. No, they want to ruin good people.
Yeah, they want to take good people and go, we'll make them one of us.
Yes.
We'll inject them with cancer. Right?
We will wobble one of us.
Yeah. That's how it goes down. But we've been talking relationships too long. It's time to break up. The Bengals versus the Ravens, the hot topic, the tension that's really in the air here. I know Ohio is hot, that we have Baltimore on today. So, Timmy, you want to gloat and tap dance on their grave a little bit?
I can, but I mean, it would all be temporary. Our coaching isn't what it needs to be. You know what? I'm a smart enough man. I'm going to say good game. We'll see you next time.
It was a good game, and you're going to get those in that division.
Yeah, no doubt. Fuck, man, it just football drives me crazy. I don't know about you. You're going. Why you go to the games and everything, right?
Yeah, usually when they're home, I get to go. I'm down there working them. So
okay, excellent. Yeah, it's I don't know. Cincinnati doesn't travel much either, though. There's not many who at Raven Stadium when they're there, but yeah, I'm gonna take it in stride. I'm gonna take it as a gentleman like I am, and say, good game.
Hey, as I said before you got here, you know, you look back on both sides, could have been, whatever. It's how it plays out. You guys got it. It's our third loss of the season. 3 times that we've been beaten at the buzzer by a field goal. And we're hoping, hey, we meet up again the last week of the regular season, and hopefully it's for the division.
All right. Yeah, hopefully. Best of luck to you and your men.
Yeah. Hey, all we else know in it, Pittsburgh got the shit kicked out of them yesterday.
That works for me.
That works for everybody. And the Browns they just are the Browns. They find ways to lose. So
we were coming back from Rochester last night, right in Bill's traffic that anybody who traveled past, and there was a lot of dejected Pittsburgh stickers on the back of Bill's. Get to them, they're just like, fuck, I gotta drive fucking home.
Yeah, because Pittsburgh travels, man. They go everywhere. So it's a lot of long ride home. You know,
Britt Baker gets no fucking promos on AEW to try and carry that momentum. She's just got to stay small and rely on character now, man. But yeah, dude, it was a great NFL weekend, like we talked top of the show. The whole season really has been so far. It's been a lot of fun to watch, a lot more drama that's on any TV show. But I was fired up the old Drudge Report this morning, and it looks like Kanye West to AEW confirmed, you guys. If you hadn't seen that, Timmy,
I have not seen that. Shut up.
Well,
are you breaking this? Am I learning this live in real time?
Oh, but where is it here? Where the fuck did it? Oh, I screenshotted it.
I'd say it's essentially Kanye West versus the world in all cases, because I mean, he is going after everybody right now.
Well, yesterday, I guess, with the White Lives Matter, and then this comes up, and then what a great headline, dude. Kanye battles.
We got Jews in the house.
And I guess going back and forth with Diddy after the White Lives Matter simple marketing controversy that's going to get him in the headlines instantly, that everybody sells for like a huge mark. But then he posts the DMs with Puffy saying that Jews control him and they're the ones telling him to do that. So, and then MJF put out some tweets, and then tweet, apologize, dive, repeat, delete, takes him down, except for one that said free Palestine just to show that he's woke. But the anti-Semitism that every Long Island representative of the tribe will instantly their hair gets lit on fire if anybody says anything. And not to say I'm here to stump for Kanye West, dumbass that's fucking so detached from any reality at all. But Kanye also saying that truth. But that's the problem. Not the problem, but like, that's the issue with this, of like anybody can this is anti-Semitism to some degree, and maybe not the highest levels. And it's like MJF tries to point out, people of color should have empathy based on 90 years difference between their freedom of slavery and the Holocaust, of trying to be eliminated as a race, as a people. Yeah, what have you. So it's obviously there. However, the part that they don't stick to, that never gets brought up, is the admission that, hey, in my synagogue, I've got the head of CBS, the fucking head of this media, where people go, Jews control the media. They never go, yeah, we do, and we say what's what, and that's why we can make Puffy dance on a dime to fucking turn and spin that on you. But they won't accept that onus of the power that they've used in Hollywood, media, influencing and what Israel really has as a stranglehold on America in a lot of ways with the choke collar and we're their dog of war. That part never really gets addressed. It always stays in the shadows. But the other part where it's quick to go, anti-Semitism, you don't give a fuck about, like, that salacious, everyone's racist. Like, okay, but sure, what he's saying is ignorant, but let's also look at what he's really saying and get the admission of, yeah, we do fucking control the dreidel scenes, bro. You know,
if we're not getting that admission, what would that admission do? Would it diminish the power? Would it?
What it does is,
like, why not make
the bitching of the side of the chosen people look less than, because they're trying to play a victim card, which they absolutely have the right to play that and say, let's not go at the, but what they never admit to the fact that they use this sounds so terrible, but they're
not acknowledging the fact that there is a power structure.
Right. They just want to play the Holocaust victim slavery black card, right? Which they absolutely can play that, draw 4, change it to red, you know, whatever you want to play in that. Skip you, reverse to me, fucking draw 2. Instead of going, you know what, we really do have a cabal behind the scenes that fucking are the tastemakers, and we'll say if you're over, and we'll say if you get the fucking deal, and we'll say that they never expose that part of the hand after they get called out for it. They just instantly throw up the smoke screen of, we were fucking driven out too, land of milk and honey, 40 years in the desert, like all that type of shit, dude. And then from a dude who's so media savvy, after the Punk shit, the Buck shit, the Andrade shit, the Sammy shit, you want to pluck his string? Ding! That's all you got to do. Is anything fucking that could even be construed as anti-Semitic. The fact that a worker is selling for these idiot things of Kanye West, it shows anybody can be gotten to in this carny ass industry. And no matter how much of good of a promo and a front you put up, all I got to do is go ding and pluck that one string and you will sell. And he did. And I was kind of like, man, I thought this guy was going to be on the higher level, but obviously, even at age, 26, to take up the fucking charge for anti-Semitism. Now, there are fucking Hasidic Jews in New York getting knocked out on the street because of ignorance and because what they want to wear. I'm not trying to say that any of that is okay. I think all religion is fucking bullshit, especially when you got to wear a costume to be a part of it.
But we shouldn't be knocking each other out over it.
Right. And I see where he's going to have some built in as a 26-year-old. That's his kind of experience, this rebirth of Proud Boys. That is the Nazi youth feel to it and whatnot. And I'm not saying he doesn't have a gripe, but as a worker, your ass has got to be up here. You cannot be selling for that
Especially
shit.
As a dude running right now calling himself the devil when he's got his devil worshippers.
You want to talk about the cabal and shit like that, and now Kanye is saying that backhandedly that Puffy's controlled by an evil cabal of satanic devil worshippers, and the guy's coming out putting it over, but then going, "Don't you look bad at the Jews like that?" Like,
so okay,
it's fucking hilarious.
This is a very layered onion here. So because of what we deal with, the main issue here is that knowing how high of a level that MJF you feel he was working at or is working at, it's a shame to show his cards in the sense that he is just sold for something. The guy who never sells for anything just sold for something that would seem so obvious to anybody that were trying to get to him. Like with, you know what I mean? He's Jewish. You think you get to him with Jew jokes or whatever, something awful like that. But you think he'd be higher than that because he is the ultimate take the piss out of you. I'm the worst, right? I'll out yell you, I'll out bullshit you. And so now he's revealed his hand, and that's not
you fucking fuck.
Yeah. So now
That's
anybody
what it comes down to. He made a mark out of himself over a fucking headline where Kanye wasn't addressing him directly or anything like that, but could not stop the Twitter thumbs. Couldn't stop.
Like Kanye even knows who the fuck he is.
Well, let me ask you. He might. He might.
Right.
It's like
He's been
the
on
brothers
TV
love
since he was
wrestling.
5. Yeah, and then he's been on TV since he was 5. They may have crossed paths in fucking synagogues.
Kanye's in a whole different world, man.
But would you be surprised who loves wrestling, man? It's wacky. But anyway, so here's my question. So he what did you say? How do you say? You say tweet dive?
Tweet, apologize, dive, repeat.
No, he tweet dive.
ProWrestlingTees.com/Ben Hamin right now.
So he tweet, apologize, dive, repeated. Why do you think he did that? Do you think it was because his PR people called, or?
Oh, he was just 2 in the morning looking at the headlines and can't stop. Like the wrestler side got pushed aside. We went right into fucking over synagogue mode. And
so he thought to himself to delete it though, right? He got himself composed.
And then in a response thing, they put over like Free Palestine to be like, hey, I'm part of the chosen tribe, but I have empathy for the people that my people are colonizing and genociding. Like that's the get out of jail free, so no one can come back over and go like, oh, really? How about what your people are doing in the West Bank? Like that's the worker move of like, see, at least I left that up. But and that's fucking funny and cute to me as well, because everybody wants to play the victim of like, I'm the black victim. Oh, 5 million of my people were wiped out. Oh, really? Your 5 million of your people were wiped out? How about what you're doing right now to my people? Like everybody wants to fucking one up each other like it's a game of fucking Uno or spades or some shit, bro. Like as it comes down to.
I'm just waiting for Bush 2 to come out with a response to Kanye that Kanye West hates black people.
Hilarious.
So he's got a new album dropping, obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
This is all for Kim, baby. This is all to get Kim back.
Kim, fucking A, man. It pops me, but it also is like, fuck. Why would MJF want to sell for that kind of shit, bro?
That makes sense, though, man. Like with what we know, and there is a higher order. Look, everybody. Hang around your heroes long enough, or not even heroes, people you respect long enough. You're going to get disappointed.
Here's what pops me though, is like Kanye. This is how stupid he is too. Maybe it was an autocorrect where he said, I can't even remember the original tweet, but about them going to DEF CON 3.
DEF CON.
It's DEF CON. Defense, what is it? Fucking condition, like readiness condition. DEF CON 3. So he calls it DEF CON, which is like a great ghetto fucking misinterpretation. Russo, I'm going to say it's a Russoism interpretation of DEF CON. He doesn't even know what DEF CON means, and he thinks it's DEF CON of where we're going to kill people. Then a guy who should know what DEF CON is, who could have got over on him as a fucking tribal and heel on him, you're like, it's DEF CON, you fucking idiot. And instead he sells for DEF CON and lowers himself even further. I'm just like going, will they be fighting? Will Kanye and MJF be fighting backstage at AEW this week, and will they both be suspended and fined? Like that's
right.
Part of this. It's fucking as asinine as it could.
Hold on, Ben. You don't remember Death Comedy Jams?
Oh yeah.
RBV.
Yeah. Russell Simmons is gonna referee. It's gonna be great.
Wow.
Just everybody in this business is a fucking moron to some degree. It don't matter if you made billions on shoes that look like shit and fucking teddy bear sweaters. And you want to say white lives matter like a fucking complete idiot, bro. Go wear some moon boots and be clueless, you dumb fuck. Go make music.
Go fucking wear a dildo mask and sell baby shoes, you weirdo.
and then act like there's no cabal at all and that the Jews shouldn't be blamed for anything and come out wearing a devil worshiper shirt. Okay, sure, bro. Sure, I'm with that. So what else you got to sell me? What else can I buy off you? Please. Where's your big poker chip? Let's fucking play. Let's play some Keno, everybody. Come on. Like
that's the real rib, that poker chip. I would have said no, man. Get me something more style, like a poker chip.
Shit. Oh shit. And you know, not to this is no exploitation on myself or anything like that, but I shot a scene yesterday in Rochester, which is one of the most interesting woke society wrestling bubbles in New York, kind of its own, and was honeypotted and seduced by I'll say a Nyla Rose type wrestling character.
Sure.
So we had some fun with it yesterday. So anybody who says Old Hacker is out here just to put the slam on people and not work with anybody or anything like that, there are no boundaries in my comedy, and the work can handle anything if it's approached the right way. And I think even at an indie level, we did that yesterday. People were putting over the simple thing that we did at Immortal with Serena backstage is good, if not better than anything on AEW or WWE TV for backstage vignettes. This is a little more, not comedic, it gets serious, but anybody can be mixed into the soda and into the, into the lemonade, whatever it is, what you want to put in there. And if it's done the right way, which I think we did somewhat yesterday, Stevie will rip on me later because it's babies getting heat on the heels, but the payoff's going to make sense. So
if you say that, and I think that's really important to acknowledge. There's no, because it took me a while to come around to that at times on certain subjects, like the work being able to handle anything. There was a point where our brains take things so personally and put up such walls because either it's happened in our lives or it's happened around our lives that we don't think it can be commented on, it can be talked about, made fun of, and it can. Everything should be equal opportunity ass kicking. Period. Yeah. It really should.
And I look at my character. I look at my character and go, what is Ben Hamin's weakness? Aside from his anger that's all blinding and want for revenge and all that shit, he's got 432 wives. I do. And so obviously pussy is this guy's fucking Achilles heel, and that's how they wrote me in. You know what I mean? So I have to play to the wanting to be the ladies' man, where it's like $5, I'll slap you across your face and you'll run a 5K, your wife will find you attractive, or buy my 8x10 and staple it to your husband's face so you can make love to a real man, right? So all that's in there where he's a lover and a fighter. So if they know what that's going to fucking draw me in, I got to play to the height of my character's emotional intelligence and the low of his ability to stay on track. And if they found that to play, that's a fun space to play weakness, as opposed to, no, I got to be strong all the time.
Right.
Right. You're missing out on the fun side of wrestling,
And
to be
that does explain Hamin's weakness has always been Dick. Dick Justice.
It is about Dick Justice.
And to be truthful to a lot of people don't have their characters fleshed out to that extent. You're an improv guy, so you're naturally inclined to that. But I think it would do wrestlers and people in the wrestling business a lot of good to not take things so personally. Not like, if your character is going to look so strong in one sense, you got to know where his weakness is and how and what could make him look weak, and not be afraid to explore that, because then what do? You give your character some range. Holy shit. And then we have a whole new set of emotions to play upon.
Yeah.
The work can handle anything. I agree.
Thank you. And that's Del Close. That's not me. It's just me having that stamp on me and going, okay, how do we look at it through the Hamin lens? And we were serious heat, but we want to put a little brevity into it, and then we're going to get, back to it. Society reviews with the big question. You guys talk about Becky Lynch and Ali trying to go over on Russo last week. We have not. Did you guys see this?
Anybody heard about this? Do you see? No, tell me about
it.
Russo had commented on Bailey, fucking in her.
Wardrobe said, hey, if you're trying
change
to
it
be
up.
different, stand out, switch it up. She was wearing the same like white zipper, multi-zipper jumpsuit, essentially week in, week out. Maybe with like different colors.
She was going to a fucking job interview at fucking Hollister to be assistant manager for fucking 4 weeks. You know what I mean? Like, what is? Yeah.
Don't tell me what to do.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Bailey. I'm sorry. I fell over really. I was so drunk
so I
once at
guess
a wedding that I fell over in front of her at her feet. She did not help me up.
She lay the boots to you. Well,
She
I
was
like
just like, oh my God. What the fuck is
so
this?
right then, so Russo puts it out there. He's just talking about how you got to look a little different, stand out. And then he had mentioned, he goes into look at Becky and Seth. They dress over the top, so obnoxious that they're not relatable to the average person. But then it wasn't Becky that fires back with why did they because they didn't explain why the man went away. They just one day we just start getting this Hollywood it crew or whatever.
So here's the inside the wrestling bubble that exposes them as like, why do you talk like this? And why do you think you're fucking over? So they think that right now in the WWE locker room, it's this ghetto Instagram speak, that we've all seen where she goes, this you, like it's slam, like, oh shit, this you, like to bring back some
like Russo's gonna know what the hell.
Right. Like, but she's trying to stunt in front of the rest of them. So we'll come back to that. But then when Ali
a few years ago, it was like, somebody come get your uncle.
Yeah, who this or whatever the fuck, right? But Russo 61, that shit goes right over his head. But she's trying to be
that's
cute.
me, bro.
Yeah. And fucking or get your mans or got him or whatever the fuck that the hot shit was for 3 months at a time. Then Ali tries to come back in and go over the top on some shit that Russo wanted him to be a racist cop, and Russo's like, he's like, can you send me that clip? And he's like, here it is, ho. And call Russo a ho, like that, like more of this Instagram ghetto world star talk that's gonna go right over Vince's head. But this is obviously the climate of ghetto Instagram sassy talk in the WWE locker room from fucking people who are so disconnected, and they're like, Russo ain't shit, or Vince apologized for bringing that asshole back. Yet they're selling out of nowhere on Twitter as superstars in this fucking world star vernacular to try and pop each other in the locker room and not listen to what Vince is actually saying. Meanwhile, people on the roster are reaching out to us privately for creative fucking ideas because the creative team sucks so bad and is so clueless how to get anything over. And these people are blowing their shine on Twitter to go back and forth with Russo. It is hilarious, and it shows that they are not real stars at all, bro.
What? Man, at some point it's going to hit a wall where you're going to have to start naming these people, because if nobody is going to stand up and say, well, hold on one fucking second and do what's right. You know what I'm saying? And say, well, hold on. No. Their creativity is spot on because I got this idea from them, or they helped me with this. If no one is ever going to do that,
they're not gonna.
At some point, man, fuck. Like, I don't know how much.
Or the only time they'll do it years later after it's passed and it isn't going to mean
but what fucking
and
good
some of them have had Russo ideas that didn't even know it came from Russo to try and help them get over for 2 years. So they're really, if you want to fucking talk about hoe, you're the fucking hoe. You're the one who's getting pimped out at a higher level, and you don't even realize what the fucking influence is when this guy could be the one that get you back on track. Because coming out with cornrows in your hair now, looking like the South Side gangsters that you used to chase through the streets, ain't gonna get you over, pal. And I know he can do good stuff. I really love that thing that he did where he was like at the podium and he was the fucking like that shit
to
was
be the
awesome.
real. That's what I was gonna say. If you're Ali, I'm not so worried about calling out Russo on something. How about the multiple times? Yeah, well, how about the multiple times you had a direction where you were getting it over and someone that you're working with sabotage you? How about someone when that goes out and says, well, we're not those people really. Yeah. You just killed him right there. He was the leader of a hot faction, but you got people working with him undermining what he's trying to get done.
Yeah, we're not terrorists. Yes, you are. You're anti-establishment, disestablishment fucking terrorists, bro. You are Antifa. You fucking cannot break that while it's going on. And instead, no, respect my fucking snapmare drop kick. Oh, okay, sure I will. Sure.
Stevie just said, let him tweet from the roof. And
Yeah.
maybe they should, because that's where the fiddler is, because the Jews control the media, right? So they have.
You're on the roof. If you don't want to be on the roof at the Saudi show because they're liable to kick you off if it's 4 stories or high.
So here's some guys get it and some guys don't. That's a guy who ain't never going to get it, never going to get it.
Whoa.
He has had so many opportunities to run with something, to really claim it, shut the fuck up. He has a bad case of I can't shut the fuck up. But
welcome to Chicago mentality, bro.
Oh, man.
That Chicago water has got these guys fucked over for the fact that I want to, I get he wants to portray Arab people. He probably hates everything that I do, as opposed to, hey, we're going to Saudi and I'm the affirmative action hire. I'm going to cash in on this. I'm going to get Bin Salman to buy me fucking 2 Ferraris, 2 Lamborghinis. I'm going to be the fucking diamond mine kid.
Boy.
Yeah. Instead, nope. I got to just go out there and do whatever with Mansoor, who now, if Mansoor went back to Saudi, they would kick his ass off the roof and fucking, if he survived, they'd fucking get him back up there again. Because they ain't playing that shit over there, bro. And then to not do the Antifa stuff the way it should have been. And then what Russo was saying about the racist cop, where he's like, he just wanted to be a racist cop. What's in the fucking news, bro? These dudes who beat the fuck out of George Floyd and Blue Lives Matter and stick together and cancel culture on the police. Here's a guy who's a minority who has a chance to show that and then stick with the boys in blue to fucking get it over. But no, I couldn't do anything that wise.
Or your ultimate payoff is when he sees the light and turns, away from that and like embraces.
You want to see him come back all the way around and you got to send him to that to have the moment of clarity to show what's wrong with the racism of it and then learn the lesson of society. That's what wrestling is for, is to look at society through our lens and let people get rid of their PTSD. I've been doing it for 16 years as the fucking 9/11 kid. So when I get beat, they can have a little bit of fucking release from that PTSD. He wouldn't even want to touch it.
The story with Ali is even more moving because you actually, once the story arc fills itself out, you've united these two groups. Now he's seen the light. He does want to embrace his heritage, and he's going to influence the blue or connect these sides that can't seemingly get along.
Sure.
But again, you don't see any big picture in your storytelling because, as you said, you're worried about your fucking moveset.
For that to work, you'd have to have a fucking skull with brains to pour the ideas into. Okay, and obviously that's not what we have. I think we need to take a step back, and the fact that this guy is coming out and shitting on and shooting on ideas that somebody who, controversial, love him or hate him, at one point was making gold for WWE in their most lucrative periods of time. You're like shooting those down and shitting on them. Have some humility, bro. Like, you want to impress me? Have some humility. Thank you for those ideas. Hold on to those. Fucking milk them. See if you don't like that idea, great. Anything else you may have, help me.
Or take the idea that you love that you made and be like, hey, dude, what do you think about this? And how can we punch it up? Because they're not receptive to it. I believe in this. How can I get a second chance? Meanwhile, the dude's sitting next to you, changing his fucking text and Vince about an idea, and because they're not getting anywhere with what they got going on. But let me just back this up a little bit. So this is hearsay in the weird click, because something happened. I could be getting this wrong. It was either with Bailey or Becky, where they put Ali over on Twitter as like the miscast.
Hold on a minute. There's a headline on that.
All the tools to make it as a top star or whatever.
Except the fucking brain.
Right. So now we know there's this little click backstage of we're over. So we say this guy's over.
He's our X-Pac.
Right. We'll push a little on Twitter. So now when it's fun to jump on Russo because Bailey didn't come back, which to me, and this is I'm sure you probably see it too, Bailey's probably showing Becky, and Becky's like, fuck that, I'll clap back at him. But Bailey wouldn't, as far as the mafia fucking move goes. Then Vince comes back at her, and because he's the X-Pac, he's going to come in to try and drive the nail to impress them to get over. So there's this whole weird level of fucking politics.
Totally.
That she's like, am I wrong? Is that how you envisioned like the behind
100%? And Seth isn't moving, and he'll only move if, you know what I'm saying? He'll only move if they come at Becky or the kids. It's a whole social structure, and
believe me, he don't want to move because we could fucking go, here's 60 pages on the Messiah.
And you know,
fucking pages, pal.
There are the cliques of the top guys and their girl and their girls and it spills on down the card. Now you just wait 1 second. Let's just say a miracle happens. Let's call it a Ramadan miracle, and Ali wakes up with a brain one day, and then all of a sudden, holy shit, he's using these ideas that he's gotten, and he gets over. Let's see how long he and Seth stay friends and buddies, and see how long that professional relationship
goes, right?
Yeah, and see how long that's Becky's boy for. Yeah, all the tools, my ass.
I'm a liar. I was called out by Stevie. It was 61 pages of fucking notes on the Messiah. And the fact that you can add all the cornrows you want and have the nicest drop kicks and all that without a storyline and character.
Non-threatening.
There's nothing there for you. And if you still don't realize that there's a huge Islamophobia, PTSD from getting your ass kicked out of Americans fucking having to leave Afghanistan, and people are dropping from planes, and like we just sweep that under the rug. If you think those scars aren't there, you're completely oblivious. I get that you want to be the good modern American Middle Eastern dad in your real life in Chicago and have all the comic book woke culture and be that guy. When you're in this business, you want heat. What do the people hate? What has not been healed on them? How can I fucking open those scars back up so they want to see me get killed by a giant fucking baby face so I can be in the main event? So it's me and Braun Strowman doing something like that. Instead, it's about how do I stay over with Bailey and Becky, and hopefully that'll keep my job to fucking do it, as opposed to what you got into this biz for, which is to have the spotlight on you and make a Hall of Fame career. And to do that, that means all your own little personal shit goes to the side, and you look at society's problems, what the hot movies are, how can I steal from them, and how can I bring that to the wrestling world and through that lens. That's the last thing on his list that he wants to do, is actually get over by using the woes of society where they get their PTSD out through him, because he just happens to be the right color and ethnicity at the right time of hate.
Do you think Sergeant Slaughter wanted to go to his little girl's PTA meetings when she was in 1st and 2nd grade? Of course he did. Don't you think he wanted to show up? He couldn't. He couldn't. Why? Because he was America's villain, and he took it with pride. I salute you, sir. Because it's cathartic. It's a role, and that's how you're gonna make your fucking money. You didn't get into this thing. If you got into this thing to just be you, like, then go be you, dude. But this is like, not everybody is that interesting. Some of us need a gimmick. Some of us need to fucking fit into that social cast. I'm not saying it's Ali. In fact, it's not Ali. He's proven that time and time again. I just don't know why we're bending over backwards to kiss his ass.
Yeah, I don't think we are. It's the fact that he's sticking his head up to play whack-a-mole because he feels good backing up Becky, who he thinks in his locker room has got power, which I'm sure she does.
Get over and talk to me. Get over and talk to me.
Yeah, you're not out here taking claps at people in the locker room. You're taking claps at the fucking dude who wrote the best of the best ever, has all the numbers to prove it, and you have no numbers to prove anything whatsoever. And Becky also can't take it because I get she's coming to her girl's aid or whatever. That's fine. I'm fine with that. That shows the locker room's trying to be strong together. There's nothing wrong there. But She's not answering the question of how do you go from the man to Elton John / fucking what's the devil chick from Disney with the fucking
Maleficent and
Maleficent and doing that shit with all these
David
little
Bowie. Yeah.
hottie things. All Vince is saying, which they can't ever hear that, is where is the progression in your fucking character? How did you get from that, the man giving Stone Cold stunners and him selling for it, which was the stupidest fucking thing of all time, to the point of what you are, and now you're cutting your hair and you're looking like Cherry 2000, Robo Twink, whatever the fuck it is. You know what I mean?
It happened in a Marriott on a Wednesday night in Duluth, and that's all you need to know.
That's all I would like to see that little scene, maybe, you know.
I guess that'd be my question. Like, why, if you're Becky or whatever, she said, Ben, you're supposed to do Superstore. Why are you even selling for this? Why did you even need to reply to it?
They're not superstars, bro. They are still children, indie children who have huge contracts, who don't know when to shut the fuck up and shut the fuck up.
And if I'm Ali, if you want to be Mr. Righteous, you're making this big point. You want to be the focal point, the voice for some kind of movement connection. That's tremendous. Why aren't you asking, hey, why is it always this time of year that I become relevant in this company? Oh, because in 1 month we are heading over. He'll disappear within 2 weeks. He'll disappear in 2 weeks after this. By the middle of November, he's gone.
The weirdest thing is that he doesn't want to sell any of the Islamophobia heat or the big money, but he wants to be treated like, in America, everybody's got the equal shot. And I'm a police officer, and which dictates white power and privilege in a lot of ways, right? But then I don't want to lean into that because that's too controversial. So I'm just going to stay as vanilla as possible until now it's time for me to put cornrows in my hair and do ghetto world star takes on fucking Twitter. And that's who I am now. Oh, okay. Everybody gets it here.
You can't, nobody understands this. Nobody understands the idea of a character who has to exist in an environment where he has a normal status and a normal behavior, and then an inciting incident happens which juxtaposes that and makes him make a decision, and then we enter into our second act of conflict, and then we go through that, and they go through the changes into the
moment of clarity, revelation, all that, bro.
And wherever they land in the third act, which is where we have a more fleshed out character from what he's been through, which the decisions he made during the inciting incident and going through the conflict make him evil or good. And no, none of that.
It's getting to him being the real him.
Getting to him being the real him, because everything was fine before.
Any of that early on to be the character to get to the higher level of fucking elevated mindset where he has the and teaches somebody else, and whoever his rival was turns into a friendshipality where we cross borders between Jews and fucking Middle Easterners, and that we have one thing in common, wrestling, or we have an even greater enemy in common, some fucking power structure.
Right. Why do you think in the Disney movies the guy's going about his day and all of a sudden a stray dog shows up and now his day changes? That's the inciting event. That's the incident that is going to get our story started. It's the most basic shit we learn from as kids, man. But these guys don't understand it.
RBV, what do you think?
I don't know why.
RBV, we're talking over here.
Yeah. You're out of your depth, RBV.
RBV, what are you thinking, man, as all this unfolds?
God, I just said that. I don't know why the hell they're even selling for this thing. Yeah. Lay out for it, go on about if you're the star and you have no use for Russo or whatever, then what? Why the hell are you taking this much time out of your day for it? And if you're Ali, why aren't you pointing out the hypocrisy in what's coming up in a month, and this is the only time of year you're relevant to that company?
I'd spend my time figuring out a way to get fucking over. I don't know about him.
Yeah, dude. I would be pitching. How do I get all the money?
He's got complaints about this, but he's been the guy that's asked for release, been offered releases, but sticks around for that money. But he doesn't want to talk about that.
you'd never be able to say, well, this guy is an affirmative action hire. Oh, really? They wanted a bunch of guys out of fucking Chicago Indies who can do all the flips, who are that's what they were looking for, 5'10" guys who do flips. So we can't find a million of those. It just so happens that you're the Middle Eastern guy who speaks perfect English and also has the police background to like do some interesting stuff. No, we're gonna fucking like I won't.
Dude,
do
the creative. They got to be so frustrated with him.
Oh my God, bro.
You know, can you imagine?
They want Muhammad Hassan and me, but they won't fucking.
No, it was all that 960 flip. It had nothing to do with all that.
Can you it's just, can you imagine, Ben, if like Jim Cornette came to you with some ideas or creative ideas, and as close as you are to Russo, I believe you would still be humble and like totally like we're humble before the wrestling gods that came before us. If they get out of pocket, sometimes you gotta spar with them, but there's that respect. Because they did the things that if they didn't do them, we wouldn't be able to do this. So I just think, like, can you imagine a world where someone like, and the only reason I say Jim Cornette is because that's the closest thing I can think to of someone where it would be a little like,
yeah, it'd be controversial.
For you. Can you imagine something happening where you posted ideas that Jim Cornette gave you at any point that you felt were laughable? If you like, this motherfucker took the time to give me some ideas, like, come on, man. Like,
well, they heard Russo's ideas, but they only selectively hear
the racist. What he didn't pitch a
racism or the insult or whatever it is, as opposed to look like a superstar. Okay, they're criticizing my gear. Well, I'm not going to give them an in. I'm going to come out with some fucking fire shit in the next, 2 weeks straight, like just to switch it up. And Bailey too, as she stays silent and all this, but she's the smartest one because now, as far as that goes, maybe not on other things, but on the pay-per-view, she's still not getting it. She's jaw-jacking with fans in the crowd like it's a house show, bro. Like some little fan, as opposed to I'm in the middle of a massive fucking ladder match. She's trying to get over with the house show audience, dude. It goes to show me that they still don't have any idea of what it takes to be a TV character on a TV show, and that's the most important thing, and that the crowd is just your backdrop. When she goes at a fucking fan in the crowd on pay-per-view, you just lowered your status of what it is to go back and forth with that. And if you've been in WWE that long and you don't understand that, that's a big, big problem overall that the office needs to correct, of like, fuck these fans in the crowd. Dude, you are on a TV show, bro.
Do you remember, like I remember being just a few times on TV, seeing somebody green make the rounds with the people at a TV match. And it's like, oh my God, like you might as well have just pulled your pants out and shit in the middle of the ring.
If you're Cena or you're Brett and you're doing your thing, you know what I mean? That's because you got over and now that's part of what your thing is. But to stop in the middle of a match and fucking, I don't suck, you suck. Oh my God, dude, we're rotten.
The comparison with Cena, though, it was to, it's the same as like hitting an applause sign for a live audience. He didn't individually go. He was a swipe across the whole arena. No, where this is going at an individual.
He's Cena. I'm talking about, there's been instances that people don't know better, where they're green or they just don't know, where they come out to the aisle and make the rounds and slap every fan's hand around the ring for a TV match.
Every fucking indie entrance.
Every indie entrance. You're killing your, like, that's
it bothers the shit out of me. Like,
we'll get to the fucking ring.
Every one of them do it.
Get in the ring.
Every one of them do it. It's so
you're
bad.
not, or when they go to the second row, don't do. Why are you doing that to yourself?
Here's the thing: they all think they're pros up here, and they cannot be knocked off this pedestal in the fucking wrestling bubble, and that they can cast aspersions below and think that there's going to be no blowback, and it shows how oblivious they truly are when you're calling who this or this you and ho, like. Just completely fucking clueless to like how it looks to the rest of the world. Even them responding and going out of their way to double down on stupid and fucking try and think that it's cute to have back to go at Russo, bro.
Let's break it down. Here was the the chain of events. Russo
I hate that
suggested. Stevie. Russo suggested a simple suggestion of change it up, girl. You're a superstar. Let's throw some sizzle on that steak. That was enough to
wasn't even being a dick about it either.
Hold on. That became secondhand. Look at my phone. Look what was said about me.
Right.
Or Becky looking at it and going, oh, is this you saying this about us? We need to explain why we pizzazz up. But using the argument totally, it didn't even make sense. His argument was, why did you pizzazz up? Not the pizzazzing up of changing your wardrobe, but offered no explanation, just focused on the wrong thing, knowingly to shift the narrative, right?
Yes.
And then just in case anyone thought maybe Russo's got a point, Ali comes in with the discrediting of him, saying, oh, well, he wanted me to be a racist cop. You know what that means? He's probably a fucking racist nutcase, nutball motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like that.
Meanwhile,
kind of
we got the Louisville fucking shooting. We got the George Floyd and whatever other fucking controversies with Blue Lives Matter and all that going on.
I don't care if Russo was a nutcase. I don't care if he told him, become a fucking Hasidic Jew. I don't care. The point is he was giving him fucking ideas to get over, man.
Right.
And
but he's also using those ideas, not that those topics have cooled down a ton, but there has been some justice with the police officers being sentenced and all that. But at the time, the whole reason to pitch it is not because we want some racism and it's so people who have the news cycle on them 24/7 get some relief from the PTSD of it all. And that's where wrestling plugs into society of whatever society's woes are. We should be fucking echoing it in wrestling so we can watch that guy get the piss beat out of him, because we're not going to be able to see Hillary Clinton get fucking DDT'd through a flaming table.
It's a societal house of mirrors.
Right. So why? And then regardless of whatever wardrobe fucking choice that's here nor there, that's what they take to it. Why isn't Becky seeing that Bailey isn't seeing she needs to be the number one thing she should be that I love to watch on World Star or YouTube? A fucking Karen. We need to have her interrupting things and people just fucking laying her out and being the most annoying bitch in a new Vic Guerrero kind of way.
Absolutely.
More physical. Instead, we're worrying about fucking getting over NXT girls who have no money written on them.
We are in control now.
And you're really not. You're having shit match after shit match that doesn't pay off. And now you're taking big high spot bumps on ladders that are almost busting your fucking teeth out. And you're getting color that is hard way for no reason. Meanwhile, you could be doing character and dressing like an old bitch, as opposed to worried about being pizzazzed up and not getting over in any way whatsoever, because we're only going to have to do another restart with her in 2 months.
Yeah, she should. You nailed it, man. She should be the one. She breaks up the good time. What's a heel if not knowing what the people want and taking it away from them?
Yeah.
And Karen, that is a Karen in real life. That's a Karen.
It's that easy. It's that easy.
I know Sue Young had dabbled in it in Impact. She does good character work.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But she doesn't have that platform. She doesn't have the platform that it could be hotcakes in WWE. Yeah, I said hotcakes 2022. Hotcakes. I don't even know what the hotcakes are.
RBV, you've got them here on your phone. Give us your 10 hottest Vicky Guerrero bikini photos in order from least to beast.
My favorite one, let me pull it up here. It's actually her posing with Nyla in front of her, because I've always wanted to see Vicky with a dick between her legs.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my.
Oh my.
We were over the chat they were talking. They mentioned, so I head on over to WWE Shop to look up some stuff here. There's some interesting stuff here, but they were talking that Stone Cold and Hogan, they never had to change. Well, show me where those zipper jumpsuits are selling, like Hulkamania t-shirts or any of the Stone Cold t-shirts.
Right. Yeah. You know why Becky's also butthurt about that? Because she spent mad money on all that gear, and they thought dressing like fucking Techno Team 2000 was gonna get them over, and like Seth can come out dressed like a supreme douche, and that does a little bit, but like
they're just like an episode of TMZ. That's what they were shooting for.
Well, Seth really took it. Because it wasn't over at first, but Seth pushed it to the point where it wasn't over. It wasn't funny. Nobody gets it, to the point where he wore them down. And now it's like, okay.
Right. Well, that's commitment to the bit.
Right.
Like if you're going to like eventually people are like, what look at this douche shit. And then finally they're like, all right, this guy's been he's dressed like a Valentine last week or whatever the fuck. Like, like you're just, that becomes part of the show, but none of that shit is cheap, and any little pluck of the heartstring that's gonna, there's gonna, women fucking need that reassurance of how's my hair look, is this outfit, whatever.
And everybody told her that looks cool. She looks great. Her seamstress is probably her favorite, one of her best friends. Fuck,
probably Sasha's husband.
Here's something. Yeah, Shiloh Mel. Truth Magnum can talk about dropping a lot of money on gear. Like, that's a soft spot, man. Especially, I mean, I know she's got money, but damn. And when she could have gone to Marshall's and gotten her whole gimmick taken care of in one afternoon.
Right.
Right off the rack at Marshall's, even though it looks like downtown Baghdad.
Timmy B, they have got on wholesale over here right now a Rhea Ripley. This is my brutality. Authentic zip-up vest, dude, that you should be rocking, dude. This thing is beautiful.
What is her brutality?
What is vest? You can't see his vest, but they also got this Alexa Bliss. It's a pair of men's shorts. It just says "play plus pain" across the crotch. Who the hell is buying this stuff?
Bro, she's a tiny, tiny woman, man. Like, I was shocked by how small she was. Really, she's nice, but you can tell she's a little crazy. She's a tiny woman. Like, that's what took me back. I was like, how is this little woman taking these bumps?
Ray and fucking Dakota Kai are smaller than her. Like, how are we supposed to tune in and believe anybody can give anyone a beating in this, bro? But
besides the ring.
Yeah, right. I'm still walking. Oh shit, man. But it was a big weekend. Did you guys watch Saturday night? It's weird with the live events or the pay-per-views on Saturday now, and I had a show on Sunday, so I'm all fucking backwards as it comes to watching and performing wrestling. So
well I think it was, you get Friday gets things going here just real quick we'll just run through some highlights here, but what's just weird, because Friday you got SmackDown, then you had AEW running Rampage, then they had Battle of the Belts. Really no big developments there. The Sheamus Gunther match was pretty intense for SmackDown. Then I didn't even realize this, poor promotion on their part, but just go back and watch. But you had Bound for Glory on Friday as well.
Oh, that was actually, let's start.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, from Albany, right? So
fuck.
So
what are you doing to me? Like,
I saw that 4 talents, Bennett, Kanellis, and a couple other
from the Honor No More group are going to be departing. But which was weird about that is the OG Kingdom. Taven and Bennett that are part of that with Maria, they successfully defended their tag belts, which kind of threw people off.
And they were putting over D'Amore, so they're trying to keep the door open and not, and I'm not trying to shit on Scott D'Amore. I haven't worked for him, so I don't know. Like, I'm sure as a worker, you're not going to get over on him. That's for goddamn sure.
He was doing jobs in '88. You're not gonna...
and he was a street guy for Montreal, fucking
right.
So but there's been obviously issues with Impact from the beginning of its inception, but it's still here, and they're still trying to do as good a work as they can. But we saw other people ask for releases and leave. We talked about what's the Ice Queen fucking
Lady Frost.
And
they wouldn't grant it, would they?
Yeah, and Larry D, and they wouldn't. But then in comes a Stooge report from a lot of people that are within 1 degree of separation or directly from, and I've heard this, where Impact is making them pay for their own travel, pay for their own hotel, and then you get maybe a $250 payday. But if you just traveled fucking 600 miles and you pay for your own hotel, you're losing $50 to $100 right there, bro. Even if you're eating peanut butter and jellies, but you're getting the shine of being on TV. So you get to be on the indies and can up your rate that way. And then you'll make like this little chase the cheese game that's going on, but you can't talk about it because then you'll be the one that's blackballed for exposing the business. So there's this weird fucking mafia play at the lower mid-card level going on. Now, try and pull that shit with a Taven, Maria. Yeah, you got to travel and pay for your own room. You might get one time with that. The other part of this where
I think that Frost was even saying she had that deal where they had first right. It was part of the deal. She had to go there. But if she could come in, had to pay for her own stuff. If she didn't get used, that payday wasn't there.
Exactly. So you might be sitting
might
there.
Get nothing.
They can fuck with you to bring you in if you got a little heat on you to do that, and you got no stroke. Mike Martin, absolutely the Montreal Dino Bravo.
Dino Bravo was the underground Dino Bravo.
Let me put some stank on it personally, and the guy was cool to me as my boss for whatever 6 to 9 months that we were working together on the web. But I hit up Josh Matthews and sent him the text, sent him the pic of me and Blaze Haram being like, hey, man, if you need somebody for dark or to do some business, we'd love to get on the show. Now, this is 8 weeks ago. And fucking Fabos Rancheros, bro. No answer, no response. Meanwhile, they're playing Albany. Hey, who do you think helped build this whole fucking territory the last 10 years? Who do you think? You're in Immortal, Dynasty, 2CW, X-Site, ESW, and UPW country from Buffalo to Albany. And I worked them all. And fucking, hey, who else has got a platform locally that can bring people from Connecticut, New Jersey, and all over the state to fucking shows? And who else has been the only podcast since inception has been covering Impact since 2015?
What about Elmira, New York?
I've worked Elmira. I drew 1,700 there to versus Hacksaw on the fucking main event. And Utica's next week, the 22nd. Tag title match in Blaze. So the fact that you are either that oblivious or wouldn't reach out to get 8 weeks of free promotion, along with RBV having just promoted them in Ohio, knowing that he's on HMG, and then your draw not being what you wanted it to be, I think you got some bigger issues when it comes down to it, where AEW thinks they can come in and rape and pillage 2CW territory. Meanwhile, I'm walking around the arena, other people are walking around the arena, and you're getting 2C-Dub chants at the fucking AEW show, but you don't want to use Colin Delaney's working dark and gets the biggest fucking reaction. I'll stooge another one. I texted this to Buck and Chris fucking Daniels of like, hey, dude, I saw what the reaction that Delaney got on the show was phenomenal. What do you think about this when you come through next time from Buffalo to Albany? That's when this was at the Rochester show, like 2 months before. I go, you should get 5 guys from ESW, 5 guys from Immortal, 5 guys from UPW, 5 guys from X-Site. They're all, and if you put us all in a fucking battle royal to open the show, along with Butcher and Blade, Dalton Castle, who else? Daniel Garcia,
the guys from that area.
Right, that are
guys,
local.
Upper New York.
Now you're going to get the entire 2CW crowd. You're going to have the hottest fucking thing you've probably ever had on your show, because all these fans have invested a decade in Dick Justice, in Super Beast, in Dewey Murray, in Ben Hamin, in Sean Carr, in Captain Nick Ando, and fucking they know us all, and we're all more over in this area than any of the fucking stars you've tried to create. Fabed, complete fabed.
Well, that's
I'm just like, these fucking guys, bro. They think they can come in and rape and pillage and still not do the right move promotionally that would help their show and help us all out, because we built this territory on rock and roll, don't you know?
But they can, and therein lies what you just said is the problem. You're going to have an opening match with guys that are going to get a bigger reaction than the main show. They're never going to
put over WrestlePro. Let the Long Island guys come up and represent WrestlePro.
It's not AEW, man, and they are going to get away with it just because it is AEW, and they dangle that carrot of TBS and TNT and whatever the fuck else kind of per appearance deals, and it's, bro, it ain't. I don't know. Who knows how long it is for this.
So what I'm saying is, these companies that came in to finally run Central New York, because the Indy's been building it for long enough that they know, and the guys that they cherry picked from there, or the guys that they even have, in the background as seat fillers, when Sean Carr can put on a better match than 90% of your fucking roster can. But we got to wait for a little spot here or there, as opposed to like, let's show you in fucking a 10-minute battle royal how over this shit can really be. They won't even respond.
And again, it's not like it needs to go to air, but just to get people there, to get the energy, to get your foot soldiers out there promoting for you.
You know how much promotion I did for that Albany show in the last 8 weeks? 0.
Even here, Ed Gonzalez from Squared Circle Expo, he was the one working with me on the promotion for Impact. He was pulling teeth for him to convince Impact Wrestling to bring back one of their own legends that sells locally, Shark Boy. And he was the most over guy they had in the building.
It doesn't make a lick of sense.
And they run him out there in the pre-show dark match. He gets the whole place fired up. So when they go to air, guess what? They're already hot.
Yep.
But that's got to be the point. Is it's not theirs, and everybody is so, especially in AEW right now, Ben. It's so chaotic, and like the amount of playing it close to the vest right now that their office is doing is insane. It's because it's legitimate. Not the group damage
after
control.
little meetings, our doors are open and it's a new day, and the people stepped up who want to. Oh, hold my beer! I got to go fight Sammy Guevara in the fucking. So they can act like they play it close to the vest, but nobody has any respect for them in their own locker room whatsoever. It's every man and woman for themselves over there right now, bro.
I think when Tony Khan appointed QT and Pat Buck and Tony Schiavone to those talent relation positions, do I think all three guys have the ability and qualifications to do it? Sure. But do I think they have? I think there needs to be one bulldog or somebody with a track record of reeling motherfuckers in. And I know Tony Schiavone has a kind of a reputation as being like a grouch and an asshole, but he's an announcer. So the boys are never going to fully, trust me, from an announcer, they're never going to fully fear you or respect you.
Well, full disclosure and Stooge, it's the locker room. So you and I are at that point of like, dude, I'm going to tell you what you need to do and ask for a spot. And if you don't want to respond, fine, then it's not on me. When you fail, fine, fuck it. When your house underdraws, fine. Like, I tried to help you, I led you to water, you didn't drink. And then the tests come where I write the fucking nice text message and I put all that shit out. Hey, QT, got your number from a mutual friend, and here's my idea. Could we get a meeting? Who's our mutual friend? Oh, okay. After everything I wrote, all you want is the fucking Stooge report. Somebody under the bus that gave up your fucking number. So I hit you up and I go, dude, look at the test. Instead of seeing the message, here it is. So you have to run cover 2 and go
get in front of it.
Yeah. And then after you do that, it all goes silent because he couldn't fucking hook me and fuck this fucking guy. I'm going to get heat on him right now for this type of shit, for the Stooge report and breaking Omerta. Like, this is what they're more concerned with, these little fucking terrible, stupid games that mean nothing. Their social media reports, their fucking little backhanded text message tests, as opposed to going, oh, let me look at this. He helped. He's been in this fucking area for this long, and this is an idea we could possibly use that's not going to cost us a dime, that's going to get a massive payoff for the audience, and everybody's going to be into it. Nah, fuck them. They didn't get over. Who the fuck are they? Like, that's the constant attitude. See how well that works out for you in the end, pal. And then when you need somebody to tap dance on your grave, I'll be shining up my fucking shoes.
It's a damn shame that you don't have more vocal advocates. Advocates of yours are a little more play in the background, a little more trepidatious. Yeah. If you had an asshole in the office, you'd be okay.
Yeah.
If you had one asshole that didn't give a fuck, you'd be okay. And that reminds me, I have somebody spoke really highly of you that'll I'll talk to you off air about it. But it's a shame because he would have been the perfect asshole.
Right. Was it Ace Steel? I hope it was Ace Steel.
But it's all like, it's all protection of, you see it at every level, whether it's in the main event, whether it's in the office, whether it's no announcers. I'm a commentator. Not one announcer in my life has ever really sat down and taught me things. I had to learn on the job, pick it up, because, and trust me, I drove around JR for weekends on end when he came to FCW. He was just grouchy. He just wanted to drink and eat steak and fart. And so it's like nothing. I could get nothing from them because it's your spot. It's their spot. It's my spot. And I'm not saying I'm Jesus, saint, whatever. But when somebody comes to me that's new, I'll fucking hand them a Bible of what I've come up with that I know to be true, and go, this has served me really well. And I'll work with them. I'll get out there and work with them.
Well, you want to raise the acumen of the performers and the quality of the show, as opposed to like, fuck it, let him go out there and choke, and then he'll be gone, and I can fucking push him off the ledge. As opposed to going, let's all fucking do well for each other, and we'll all make a better show together as a fucking entire group.
And if they end up being like surpassing me or being more, that's fucking great. That now means it was meant to be.
That drives you to be better.
Drives me to be better, and it means that this person, like, I had a part in helping them get to that level. And that's fucking great, man. Like, there ain't enough money in this right now to have ego. There isn't. And
it just pops me of these guys who are kind of on the same level and experience level that I am, who have these spots, who just want to play dumb, deaf, and blind to fucking everything that's going, that could help them get over, and that, hey, here's a free helping hand, free promotion, free idea that I know is going to hit like a fucking nuclear bomb if you do it. Who gave you my number? Oh, okay. All right.
That is funny.
Okay. And then to like come back over and be like, it was Timmy Baltimore, motherfucker. And like, what's he gonna go? That crippled bastard.
That's what you should have done. You should have just thrown, whenever you're ready to throw someone under the bus now, just throw fucking Baltimore under.
Well, I mean, but it was me, so he would have had to.
Right.
Like, he was put in a position, like, ideally the situation would have turned out, if you guys are wondering, the audience is wondering, like, what we would have wanted to happen would have been, okay, great, can you send me some of your qualifications? Tell me a little bit about yourself. And then it would have gotten around to, okay, well, who's our mutual friend? But the immediate thing was, you contacted me. How did you get my number?
And he was just put in charge of talent relations 2 weeks.
And you're in charge of talent relations. You can't get upset with me for giving talent your number if you're in talent relations.
It's crazy.
And but I mean, and the reason he's saying, like, well, it was diffused the second that he said it was me, and I texted him and said, hey, listen, I gave Ben Hamin, I think he's super intelligent. He's been through it. He's paid his dues. He's booked. He has his own infrastructure. He produces more content than anybody I know. I think you need to give him a listen and a look. And then Ben, of course, strategically says, it was Brent, Timmy, Baltimore tearing. And then you get nothing. And the reason you get nothing is because they got
no move in the trap. There's
no move, because I'm Cody's friend too, right? And he's Cody's friend, so it's probably what I got was fucking Timmy. God damn it.
Yeah, right. He doesn't ball you out, but then when it goes silent, we get the message, and it's just like, okay, all right, this is not going to end well. I'm going to keep doing what I do, and not play the game in the conventional way. And you can lay all the traps you want, but I know how to spring them, bro. I'm a fucking, I can go out in the minefield and fucking clear it all, And the fact that you're even trying to lay mines as opposed to look for solid solutions and promotional help shows that your mind is not in the right spot at all for what you need to be doing.
If we were cowards, who could we have stooged off instead?
throw Jeff Jones under the bus.
Throw Jeff Jones under the bus.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
Well,
God.
from Friday night at Impact Wrestling's Bound for Glory, we did have Saturday. First of all, Biddy said, it throws off the schedule. You're working shows on Sunday. You're running on Saturday.
Yeah.
There's a lot of rumor, people speculation why. From your guys' perspective, what is the move for WWE to Saturdays? This is going forward. This is what we're getting.
Then that's the move. They run the roost.
I think for football season, it's a good move.
I think it helps with, it's easier to go against the college. You talk to some people I know, actually, they were a little upset with some of the viewership numbers for some of these premium events. Moving it to Saturday allows people the full day Sunday to get caught up with it, where they weren't tuning in with the quick Sunday night. They were just getting the recap on Monday and moving on. So now they've got themselves almost a day and a half, 2 days. So that's a large part, just for viewable hours on the cock.
We're just going. It's all about cock hours.
They're making a lot of cock jokes.
We're just, I think, mainly having a response to it because we've been operantly conditioned for 30 years to have Sunday's pay-per-view night, and it works on Saturday. You're gonna just have your diehard fans, like people aren't going, oh, college football versus this. Like even if it's a top team, you'll have dual screens on or whatever, and people get to watch college football all afternoon. So by the time it rolls around at night, you're good. But I think metrics wise and analytics and viewing hours wise, it does make sense to have Sunday for catch up day. If you're out doing something Saturday night, you're at a wedding, you're going out for date night, whatever, there it is for Sunday. And you're not worrying about, I got work Monday morning. So it does hold a lot more logic than just, we did it this way for 30 years. We got to keep doing it that way.
And it's not like to the degree of like being a football game or a football game or a baseball game. It's not a live sport. Like people can sit on the results. It's not a UFC fight. You're not going to go somewhere and everybody's going to be talking about it. So it is still within that bubble where you can say, don't tell me what happened yet. Because ESPN usually, unless it's like Logan Paul or I don't know, they may have showed the highlights of Daniel Cormier.
I don't know if much highlights in there. That was kind of Cormier. Yeah,
Cormier.
I think that match was lackluster, ass buster. He took that massive bump at the end, but then they kind of didn't have him on the finish. It was a little bit of a deflated balloon there.
Well, let's start the top and just run down real quick. We won't
actually, let's not. I want to save that for Stevie and I on review. But I mean, obviously, the big news is the return of the Fiend. And Bray Wyatt. People were hot that the characters backstage took the fucking picture by the loading bay doors to like kill the mystique of what these characters are. Now they're back there doing the buddy pose in character. I can see where the gripe is on that, bro, where you're trying to create a mystical world. And now we just did, boy, wasn't that fun? Let's all get together in costume and take a buddy picture backstage instead of protecting Bray Wyatt's creative.
I was more pissed about that I immediately go back to shop.com and those things are not available for Halloween.
Yeah, that's a great point too.
Here's an interesting question with the world. Like he's created his own world with his own characters. Are these characters now actual characters that can thrive and exist in that world for him, where guys in NXT that don't have shit going on for them can get called up and say, hey man, I'm the Melvin the Rooster,
Harvey the Rabbit and all that shit.
Yeah.
I don't know if those, it's a good question. Can you then, here's how I would do this, right? So a lot of people think that Joe Gacy, who I got a lot of respect for, even though he's too chicken shit to face me on the indies and he had to escape to NXT before I whooped his ass, was the pig because he's got pretty crystal blue eyes and look the size, right?
Yeah.
And can you take a Joe Gacy who's done kind of a madman thing a little bit in NXT? He did it more extreme on the indies, which I really liked. And then we brought the pig to life from a hand puppet to where it is. Now, can you cast some spell to turn him into a real boy? And he's fucking Joe Gacy, but like a psycho
Sure.
to Bray. You know what I mean? I think in this broken universe of Bray Wyatt, we absolutely can take those 5 characters that we saw, except for the Fiend, that'd be Bray. So 4 of them, and turn them into offshoots. Alexa can be one, you know, and maybe the one big fucker who looks like Von Lilas, Von Wagner, whatever, could be one, or whoever. It doesn't make a difference, but that is an opportunity. Bo Dallas definitely should be one.
Which rumored on his way back.
Right.
At the end of the day, Bray Wyatt is in my mind, he's a cult leader, right? So he's able to get all these individuals to do these things that they wouldn't, to sell their soul to him. And if you say, well, this guy wouldn't necessarily put on a pig mask, but he's been tempted by the devil. This is Bray Wyatt's character.
There's some type of spell that drew him in, that he's under it. You know what I mean? He went down the rabbit hole, and when he woke up, that's what the fuck he was.
Bro, how smart.
Sometimes he's the pig, and then other times when fucking Expelliarmus or whatever the fuck, now he's Joe Gacy, right?
And the idea of like just how much money this guy is going to make on action figures alone is just
absolutely
like he is a money maker. Why you just keep the saddle on him? You know, if his creative gets a little crazy and out there, fuck it. Like I could see where creative control can become a problem, but I say, you know,
there's the number one reason to keep all these other characters around is the fucking toy sales.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. I mean, the guy has how many gimmicks, how many faces?
Say there's a bubble within the bubble where you see Bray interacting with these walking around characters, and you do some industrial light and magic, and you see the bubble, it's actually glowing blue light or whatever around them, right? And when you go through it, you transform into a weird character. But as we see them walking towards this vortex and they come through that portal, instantly when they walk through, they're a human ready to go out the ring. They win their match and come back through, walk through Gorilla into that bubble, and instantly he's back into the fucking pig. Like we got to have
Gorilla's a fucking weird, like everybody in Gorilla's a fucking
transition to go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
You can even do pre-tape where there's a black hole on the ground. They jump up and land on it, and all of a sudden they go down in through it and down in fucking Alice's rabbit hole, and then we see them interacting, and they look like that.
And if people bitch and say, well, the realism, and look, when I was a kid, I bought The Undertaker. I was scared. Kids buy the shit, you know. So you got to, if it's well done and the supernatural, I again, the work can handle anything, right?
Yep.
I can get into that. I don't necessarily believe every alien movie I go to see, but I do enjoy them.
Well, since, you know, with The Undertaker, you didn't have to buy in to the mystical aspect of it. You bought the man, you bought who was portraying him. So if these people commit to this bit, and you sell it as, hey, this is a mirror of society. We're all like this. You're all at some point this little puppet that has the capability that, you know, that just goes out into the real world, but you're being controlled. Or
dude, you can even do you know what one I like is the big vulture head for some reason with the cape shirt on. I would redo the Crowing with Cornette segments with vulture head, but all he does is fucking and then he says one word like MJF and fucking like he's going off like cutting the fucking promo, Russo asshole, and then back into gibberish and label the whole thing as crowing with whatever. Like take all the old wrestling tropes and put a very fucked up funny spin on them where it's an art piece, a true performance art piece, as opposed to the same old wrestling.
The best part about that is it would give Cornette a freaking aneurysm.
Oh, no, I mean, look, I think that's awesome. Like that's the move, right? That's the genius move here, is to pay homage to the platform on which we stand while creating these new twisted, fucked up things. And, you know, I think part of taking that journey is that, you know, some of the shit's just going to be awesome and mind-blowing and very cool. Some of the shit not all of it's going to land 100%.
Right.
That's the agreement you make. You know, people miss this guy. He was gone long enough for us to miss him. He's back. Let's fucking enjoy him and whatever the fuck he's going to do, as long as it's good. And I think I think that's a good place to be.
Got a great one here. Mercy Buzzard could be Grayson Waller with the Hawaiian shirts. It's that simple level of tie-in, Lisbeth, and you're spot on it, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, Bray had the shirt, but this guy wore the shirt, and he falls down the rabbit hole, and now he's fucking Turkey Vulture or whatever the fuck. Like,
yep.
It's that simple to go from A to B, and that goes back to Russo going, how did you go from the man to fucking Elton John? We had no character transitions whatsoever here. No explanation, no nothing.
The Messiah to the Joker.
Right. So, hey, guys, we've given them 2 hours of awesome Monday locker room. One of my favorite Monday locker rooms in a long, long time, and I know the response is going to be massive. We were over 60 strong in the chat room alone, which is huge numbers for us. We really appreciate everybody tuning in post pay-per-view, and I love this kind of conversation over reading headlines. I mean, only one or two big stories, but this is the real talk you guys pay for at channelattitude.com, or that you're getting for free here, you cheap motherfuckers, on Ben Hamin YouTube channel. So go over and subscribe, because it only gets better than this. I got to put up Rampage review today and SmackDown review. So big shout out to Enright, MacGyver, DJ Mass Effects, and Littman for taking the weekend line, and look forward to doing SmackDown review with Big Stevie Cool here on Russo brand as well right after this, man. But Timmy, the haircut looks good. It's all about sex appeal, man. You're driving them crazy. I'm glad somebody's handsome on this show. I
got to go see my probation officer. So MCW Autumn Armageddon this Saturday, Joppa, Maryland, and on Fight TV a week from Thursday. At Timmy Baltimore, Twitter and IG.
Absolutely. Give them a follow, you guys. Always great feedback. And RB to the V, man, those sandwiches you were posting was a goddamn burger with a Reuben on top of it.
Oh, God, it was amazing. Deep fried Reuben rolls. I've been on a big barbecue kick lately, so I see a lot more of that in the future. But to me today, let's see here, October 10th launches. I got 2 months to my next big show, so we are going all out for a big one to close out the year. We're dubbed it Pancakes and Power Slams. We got a brunch where you can have you got pancakes, breakfast with Santa Claus. It's going to lead into a kids camp, into the show. We're working with Honor Flight, raising money to send out some of the local vets to go up and visit their memorial up there. We're also helping out some local wrestling families in need this time of year. So a big event, and today launches our massive campaign for that. So busy.
Y'all, man, you do got a lot going down. Please get heat on Santa for me if you get a fucking chance, one or two, touch them up. But you guys know where it is. If you want the cameos, go to cameo.com/Ben Hamin. I got some to cut this week, so get your promo requests in now if you want to. And if you want to grow the best cannabis around, go to horseshoegenetics.com. 52 strains available right now. I just jarred up my Croptober harvest. I couldn't be happier with the results, and I've already got some lemon skunk autoflowers germinating now. So we'll be doing some more planting this week. So grow with me, and it's going to be a crazy new time in the Green New Deal here in the Northeast. They even actually are putting into a law that they're pitching for 2023, psilocybin.
It's like that in DC right now. Yeah.
Like fucking people are going to be hopefully much more chilled out in the future, man, off of a little mushrooms and some fucking good
Dude, I go up to DC and buy myself all different types.
That's crazy, bro. It's crazy. It's a new day. Yes, it is. And actually, go watch a New Day with my man Nice Peter and Epic Lloyd from Epic Rap Battles of History on G4. I just talked to Nice Peter yesterday. He said, make sure you tell your audience thanks for all the love and support that they've been throwing his way, those wrestling crazy fans. He said, I've been getting hit up left and right. So it was good to catch up with Nice Peter because I've got my 25th improv reunion of my college show this coming weekend, and I wanted to touch base with him, just to see the people that spun out of that show, from Broadway to wrestling, Saturday Night Live. Nice Peter, it's unbelievable. So looking forward to updating you guys on those stories on the next Monday Locker Room, talking all about it in the inside views. But this is the Monday Locker Room, Infidels Hamin Media Group. You know where it is.
This is the Hustler Rogers. Yeah, it's fucking me. Yeah, and listen to the fucking Hamin Media Group. That's Ben Hamin Media Group from Rip Rogers. Go get him and go fuck yourself.
Ding dong. Hello?